Hello everyone, welcome to channel 422. My name's Wilma, and as you can see, today's episode sort of begins before it begins, so there's a story behind it. I guess the story really begins maybe 60 years ago when our family moved from Northern Ontario down to North Bay. I was in the last part of grade 9, and as sometimes happens when you change schools, curriculums were different, and I ended up taking the last, 5 or 6 weeks of the grade 9 typing. I passed. But in the 60 years since then, my typing skills have not improved, quite the opposite in fact. And when the library offered keyboarding classes from 5 to 6 o'clock on Tuesday evenings, I jumped at the chance. In a separate but related part of this episode, I happened to be chatting with Suzanne of Peaceful Arts, and she was talking about painted rocks. Now, I remember about 3 or 4 decades ago, we had pet rocks, but these, she called them kindness rocks. And the idea was that you paint a rock with some sort of saying or something pretty, something to make somebody feel good, and then you place them in places where they could be found sort of at random. And, random acts of kindness are never something that's going to go amiss. So I thought, okay, I'm in on it. Tuesday afternoons. It couldn't have been more than 2-3 hours later that a friend calls me up and she says, "Hey, Rocket Man is on. It's last week. Do you want to go to Cheap Tuesdays?" Okay, I'm in. So now my Quiet Tuesday has expanded to include painted rocks, keyboarding, and the show. And I thought maybe I should just bring a sandwich or something, sort of have something to eat on the run kind of thing. That was how the day was shaping up. Now you're going to see how it actually evolved, and I shall see you at the end of the day again. Enjoy. Bye-bye. So here we are at Peaceful Arts. We're going to go take a look down the back alley and see what state the murals are in. Maybe. So there's my finished product. Not exactly high art, but it was a whole lot of fun.
But it will make somebody super, super happy, even if it's just you.
Well, maybe it'll put a smile on somebody's face.
Right? You and your music trivia.
So this is a new place, and we're going to take a look and see what they have. I decided to treat myself. Chai tea latte and the Nanaimo bar doesn't, oh, and a little sweet with it. Doesn't get much better, does it? So from here we're headed down to the drugstore. where I would have had my supper. It hadn't been filled. Nice little place right next to the library, part of the center. As you can see, it ended up being a rather busy afternoon. So let's just enumerate. Check the mural, paint rocks, chai tea latte at a local espresso bar, check the pharmacy for a prescription, walk over to the library where I have my sandwich and a snack, keyboarding class, the theater, and the walk home. There are a number of takeaways you might have from this episode. The first might be that the next time a senior tells you that they don't know how they ever had time to work before they retired, you can take them seriously. We might also add a corollary to that last takeaway and say, do as I say, not do as I do, because maybe cramming 9 things into a day might be a little much. But it's up to you. You know, you're your own person. The final takeaway, and the one that I hope that will register most with you, is that yes, indeed, any one of those would have been a respectable trip. But it demonstrates, I hope, that there are all sorts of reasons to get out and walk. We want to be as independent for as long as possible, and the way to do that is to be proactive and get the assistive devices that you might need before you have a fall and it becomes rehabilitative. We want to be in control of things as much as we can. And recognizing your limitations is the first thing. It's the hardest part of it, but it's the first thing that you need to do. The next number of episodes are further examples of why you want to stay independent, so you can just pop over, take part in as much as you want of an event, and then leave when you want, when you're ready. We could call them, I suppose, things we did last summer, because we're not doing them this summer. COVID's taken care of that. It's entirely likely that we won't be doing them next summer either, unless we find a way to get a handle on this thing. And so far, we're not doing a great job on that. I hope you'll join me for the next, half dozen episodes or so. Because this is community spirit. This is why we keep walking. This is why we keep going. See you next time, I hope. Bye-bye.